The heroes in a half shell return to the big screen in live action for the first time in over a decade, when Johnnie Torch reviews Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Alright, to start, I'll admit I wasn't a fan of these new designs. They've made the Turtles, and especially Splinter, fairly ugly. There really was no need to try and improve on the design of the old Henson costumes of the original films. I think Leonardo, my favorite incidentally, looked the best, with the other three having each their own problems. Mikey looking a little too human, Raph looking a little too Hulk-like, and Donnie looking a little too Simon the Chipmunk. Seriously, why did they need to put glasses on him? The Nick cartoon has him gap-toothed. What do they have against the kid? They also put a ton of unnecessary crap on them, again, Donnie being the worst offender. But putting that aside, I was more than willing to give this new film a chance. Thankfully, they really captured each turtle's personality pretty well. You never feel a line given to one would work better coming from another. The voices all worked out pretty well. Perhaps I'm blessed in that I don't know Johnny Knoxville, who voices Leo, from a hole in the ground, but he sounded like the typical Leo. Tony Shalhoub, TV's Monk, however, was somewhat less convincing as Master Splinter. All the Turtles got a chance to shine. I don't really feel that one stole the spotlight more than the others. Mikey's wisecracks probably came closest, and Raph's angry loner routine got a somewhat truncated version this time as opposed to the earlier films. The biggest gripe I have against the film are the changes to the origin. Now granted, with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles being around, 30-odd years now, they've seen their share of changes. You can basically pick and choose what you want from past incarnations. In this film, the Turtles and Splinter are test subjects for April's dad, a scientist. It is she who names them, introduces them to pizza, and saves their lives by saving them from a fire and depositing them in a sewer grate. There, Splinter takes on his humanoid attributes, learns ninjutsu from a book, seriously, a book, and teaches his young students, protecting them from the outside world. For the most part, that I can live with. The biggest problem for me, however, comes to the Shredder. He has no relationship to Splinter in the least. Splinter seems to magically know that Shredder is evil and needs to be stopped, but there is no real rivalry which was always at the heart of the story previously. My favorite incarnation is where Splinter is really the mutated human Hamato Yoshi, and is a trained ninja who has a lifelong rivalry with Oroku Saki, who eventually becomes the Shredder. But here they meet, they fight, and it's a great fight, but there's no real weight behind it. For those afraid that Shredder would be played by William Fichtner, put your mind to rest. Either a last-minute change of plans, or perhaps it was misdirection all along, but the Shredder is still Japanese and leader of the Foot Clan, although there seems to be nothing ninja-ish about them. They look more like renegades from Cobra. Fichtner's character, Sax, gets the lion's share of screen time, but in a way it serves to make Shredder all the more mysterious. Karaya's presence in the film is a high-ranking member of the Foot, but none of the more interesting attributes the character has gained are present in the film. I won't spoil it for those out of the loop, but check out the current Nicktoon to see what the character is at her best. Megan Fox does a good job as April O'Neil. For whatever reason, she seems outright despised, but let's be honest, April isn't exactly a role on par with Lady Macbeth. It's basically tailor-made for her. I was happy that April actually gets something to do in this film. In the previous live films, okay, the first two, I blanked the third from my memory, April pretty much disappears for the second half. But here she's a valuable aid to the lads. Some may complain that she gets the honor of landing the killing blow on Shredder, but it was just a technical victory. In all honesty, the only one who should be able to beat the Shredder is Splinter, who was pretty much taken out of the story in a way that was less than satisfactory. Actually, I half expected him to show up in the final reel to save the day, as in the original film. April gets a fair bit of screen time pre-Turtle reveal. It's a bit slow, but it does the job of building up the character. She's not taken seriously by her peers and boss, and we get to see her tenacious reporting skills. Whoopi Goldberg has a brief role as April's boss, both race and gender changed from the original cartoon, and Will Arnett plays her colleague Ven Fernwick, a character I was pretty sure I would hate, but he did well enough with what he was given and didn't overstay his welcome. Irma is strangely absent, or was April's roommate supposed to be Irma? The action was very good. There's a lengthy car chase down a steep hill worth the price of admission, and the final fight atop a roof was also exciting while harkening back to the 1990 film. All in all, the downside is that the film does feel fairly cobbled together by somebody that had only second-hand knowledge of the Turtles. Hopefully, that looks to change in the sequel. Some more time could have been spent with the Turtles fleshing them out and giving them some needed character moments. It's not really the home run fans were hoping for, but they laid a decent groundwork to build off of in the future. All the Turtle hallmarks are still there: pizza, wisecracks, and a hearty cowabunga. I'm giving Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4 stars out of 5. This is Johnnie Torch reminding you once again, keep the flame burning brightly, and I'll be with you again very soon.